AITAH for telling my wife I would be leaving if she kept acting baby crazy. My wife and I have 2 kids, 96. After the second one, she said she was done having kids, even though we had discussed having 3 prior to marriage. We talked about it for a long time, but I love her, and I agreed to change our plans. She had an IUD, but we still used condoms. She really didn't want to get pregnant. About 4 years ago, we agreed that I would get a vasectomy. It made sense since it was a minor surgery, unlike her getting tubal ligation. It went well, and after I healed up, I went for testing, and it worked. If you ever get a vasectomy, please do the follow-up testing. My friend from college thought he was good to go, and now he has a kid. So she got her IUD removed, and we stopped using condoms, and life was good. Until her sister each had another kid. Then one of her friends had a baby, and my wife went nuts. She wants another baby. She made a mistake and wants me to go get my vasectomy reversed, or to get my sperm harvested and get IVF. The fuck, I am getting a needle in my balls or another operation, and we are actually doing great financially right now. Her taking 2 years off from work would be a big hit. I said we could look at adoption or fostering, but that I was not interested in her having another kid. She tried bringing up our agreement from before we got married, but I shut that down immediately. So for the last 4 months, our marriage has been a simmering battle about another kid. She has had her parents over, my parents over, her sisters, and their families, all trying to convince me that I should give in. Fuck that noise. I am almost 44. In 12 years, my youngest will be starting their career or their post-secondary education. I can see the finish line now. I did offer all the family members that chimed in a fun option. I agreed to get TESA, sperm harvesting, if all the men who agreed with my wife did it as well, even if they had working ball tubes, at their own expense, and that they pool their money and pay for all bills related to IVF and the raising of the 3rd kid. They all say I'm being ridiculous and petty. I reminded them that as a unit they all agreed with my wife when she said she was fine with 2 kids. They wanted to have input then, and it was free. I said this decision would require skin in the game. It all came to a head last weekend. My folks had the boys so we could have a nice couple of days to ourselves. Instead, my wife and I got into a screaming match. She said I obviously didn't love her if I wasn't willing to do this, that we are well off enough to afford all the expenses of another kid, blah, blah, blah. I told her no in no uncertain terms. We had money in the bank for retirement and fun. And that's what it was for. Not for her to get her hormones calmed down. She accused me of caring more about money than her happiness. I reminded her that she was the one who insisted that having a 3rd kid would demolish her career. She started crying and saying I was an asshole for denying her another kid, that it was not that much of a sacrifice. I finally unloaded and said that a divorce would be cheaper for me than another kid. That shocked her into silence. We have barely spoken since. I think I broke her. Our retirement funds are separate. Our house is in both our names, and she earns slightly more than I do. If we get divorced, I will get 50/50 custody. I would want it. She would get no alimony, and I might get a few dollars in child support. I feel shitty threatening her with divorce. I love her and want to spend the rest of my life with her, but I am sick and tired of having her make our reproductive decisions like my opinion does not matter.